Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do our task 1, and this is called the email in CELPIP. It is called the letter in IELTS. It's pretty much the same thing. Same format. You get a bunch of questions, 3 bullet points usually, and you have the same format. You don't have to put the dates or the subject, or you don't even have to say to whom it may concern. The word limit is the same as well for both exams, and if you're doing IELTS or CELPIP, this video is going to be highly useful for you because what we're going to do today is compare a really good letter versus a really bad one. Now you can pause this video to read if you want to. However, these two letters are posted on my blog today as of December 18th, 2021. So if you're watching this video later, that's what where you want to go in my blog. Blog link is always in the description. So here's a quick test and a challenge, a very interesting task for you to do. Go on the blog now. Pause this video. Go on the blog now, December 18th. Check the post that I made. I have given you these two letters there. Compare it. Okay, compare both the letters and you tell yourself which one is the better one. Then come back to this video and I'll tell you which one is better based on everything that is written. So this exercise is going to be very important for you because you will realize your own mistakes when you reflect by looking at someone else's letter. It is a way that teachers learn. When teachers check, they learn more and more about the subject and they get better. And that's what you can do as a student as well. So try that out and then come back to this video and see what I have to say. Now, let's get started with this letter here. So it's apologizing to a friend. You can read it if you want. I'm going to go over it a little fast. So apologize for the mistake. There's one mistake, and find out how important the book is to him or her. So the person forgot to return a book to his classmate. That's what the whole topic is about. Say what you will do. Okay, so there's 3 things we got to do. We forgot his book, right? So we're going to apologize. We're going to find out how important the book is to him or her, and we'll say what we can do. All right. So let's see this student's sample. Let's see what he said. He started with Dear Mira. Perfect. Okay, perfect start. You want to start in formal letters this way. Don't say Mr. or Miss, and don't do the full name, just the first name. Best regards is a good ending, and your first name here is enough, not the last name. Copied my template. Hopefully you and your husband are doing well. My apologies for not being in touch. And this paragraph and this paragraph, both are my templates. Okay, so far everywhere he's getting really good marks. Okay, he's getting full marks. With my templates, not only are these things mistake proof, so that means there's no grammar or any mistake at all, they have some intentionally inserted fancy stuff. For example, semicolon here, and starting with hopefully, which is going to make it a complex sentence, saying my apologies, not I'm sorry. And you can see it's a very long sentence, which makes it complex, and you get more marks for that. I'm hoping this email finds you well, and then there's an exclamation mark here. People usually say, let me know what you think and talk to you soon. Basic words. We're doing fancier punctuations and wordings, and wherever we can make it complex, we do that. We didn't make it complex here because we don't want to overdo it, but we did here. The other thing is you can learn these things and just copy paste in the exam. So when you start the exam, you can just write the first paragraph, last paragraph, greeting, and you're done with about 25% of the stuff in a few minutes without thinking, and you know those things are going to give you marks. That's where templates are super important. Now, let's look at the 3 bodies in the middle. Structure-wise, it's good because what he has done is the first bullet is in body 1, second bullet is body 2, third bullet is body 3. Perfect structure, good marks there too. But now you can expect that now it's going to fall apart, and that's what's happening here. So he says, I'm very sorry that I didn't get time to return your textbook before you leave this country. Grammar mistake, before you left this country. Okay, that is answering the question. He is apologizing for the mistake indeed. I thought you were going to leave next week, but when I reached the hostel it should be at that time, I got to know that you already returned home. Returned home a week before. Should be a week before. Tons of grammar mistakes. But what I want to show you mainly, check this out. This part, the first sentence is answering the question. He's apologizing for the mistake, and that's good. The second part says something completely different. So you have to stay at apology, all right? So the second sentence could have been, I feel extremely guilty and embarrassed because that's not the kind of friend I am. but once again, please accept my humble apologies, or please forgive me. That still shows the intent to apologize. And yes, you can have something that is a slightly different answer than the bullet point, but 60% of your body paragraphs should answer the question exactly. Here, this one is answering the question, but the second sentence is not. So majority of your paragraph is not answering the question. So make it relevant to the question. He's going to lose marks for grammar here. Nothing fancy, no fancy vocab words used. And he's going to lose marks on his answer. Task response is going to lose marks. Now, the next question is find out how important the book is to him or her. Now, when you're finding out how important something is, you would ask questions, right? Is it really important for you? Do you need it urgently? Is it something that you need material from for your next exam? You would ask those questions to figure out how important it is. He didn't ask those questions. You can see his paragraph is, I know these are very important textbooks for you. He knows already, but he should be asking. So that's a problem. You can prepare for the next exam during this vacation. These books have more personal importance to you, as you told me. So it's all background stuff, and many students do this. He's sidetracked, completely sidetracked, not answering the question. He's going to lose all the marks here for task response. So guys, always make sure you look at the question and make 2 sentences relevant to the question in every body. That way you would never get off the task response mark. And it's okay to put question marks. So if you're finding out how important the book is in letters or emails, just put a question mark. Just ask a question. So is it important for you? Do you need it urgently? And so on. Question mark is okay. Say what you will do is the third bullet point, and he doesn't say what he will do. He says, please inform me which way is cheaper. Deciding these books, I can do courier if you need it so this is nice. I could do courier. Okay, so he's saying what he will do. If you need it urgently, should be urgently. Otherwise, I'll do regular mail. So still in this second sentence, he is on track. But the problem is still, it looks like he is asking the other person, I'll do this or that, whatever is easy for you. The question didn't say ask here. The question said say what you will do. And that's the problem. He didn't answer any of the body paragraphs properly with a task response. He's going to lose all task response marks. He's going to lose a lot of grammar marks. The only marks he's going to get are here and here with the templates. So this, if it is a CELPIP writing task, it's going to be 6 only, maybe 5 because the grammar is pretty horrendous. And if it is an IELTS writing, it's not going to get more than 5 bands. Okay, so even with the right templates and structures, people make mistakes, and that's where your 3 bodies in the middle need to be really strong. So you want to make sure you have good grammar, vocabulary, and you have someone to check, because a lot of people think the templates are gonna be enough, and as you can see, they're clearly not. Now, if you look at this other student, she has a good combination of templates, and her 3 bodies here are really strong as well. And if you can write like her, you're perfect. I told her that she's gonna get a 10 easy. And if you can't write like her, you need a coach. And coaching information is always in the description. You can check it out. Now, in this question, this is, again, task 1. All right, so you were recently made reservations at dinner at an expensive restaurant, and the meal and the service were terrible. So you want to complain here. Okay, formal letter, which is good. Sorry. Okay, formal letter, which is good. Let's look at that example. So state what problems you had with the food. Complain about the service. Describe how you want the restaurant to resolve the problem. All right, so started with my template. The purpose of my writing today, that's how you want to start the formal letters. And inform me about the inconvenience. Perfect. One simple sentence. You can also make that complex, but that's okay. Dear manager, it could be Mr. someone as well, but manager titles are fine. I personally prefer you keep it personal, Mr. or Miss, because everybody would do that. So you can be a little different that way. Yours sincerely, full name, formal letter format, perfect. I'm looking forward to seeing how my suggestions translate into prompt actions. Fancy word, and she's not just saying, I'm looking forward to meeting you, but seeing how my suggestions translate into fancy way of saying this, fancy phrasing. People don't ever use that actually. Connector, nice conjunction. Furthermore, an open line of communication from your side would be greatly appreciated. Again, not saying something simple like get back to me, but saying fancy words. Once again, she's using my template. So just like the other student, she's using templates perfectly. Is she gonna mess up in the middle? Not really. She did a pretty good job here. Before I forget, let me show you guys. Look, nevertheless, connector. What's worse? Connector. Aside from that, connector, and those are the very, first of all, I wouldn't say typical connectors. They're unique connectors. And the fact is she has connectors, which is great. In between the paragraphs, she has this one, to therapy the situation. So there's a problem in this paragraph, and look how she connects it, to therapy the situation. Sometimes you want to come up with original connectors. Now, to therapy the situation is only based on this kind of letter, because you're going from problems to solution, and you're coming up with an original connection. Okay, so that's what she did here. She could have done therefore or hence, but to therapy the situation is original, and examiners like it more. If you can't think of those, you can go with hence or therefore. Okay, there's no connector here, which is okay. Sometimes, actually, when you're going from the problem to complain, it is a different tone. So here you wouldn't need a connector, and sometimes you don't need connectors if it's slightly different topics. This one, being, is a complex sentence because there's two parts to it. Being one of the top-notch cuisines in the city, one part, and then I expected an amazing appetizing meal. Okay, so that is the second part. Are there any more complex sentences aside from that? No, I think I can obtain. No. So what I would have liked to see, yeah, there's not more. One more, at least two complex sentences should go here. Another one would have been really, really nice. And okay, let's have a look. So she expected an amazing meal. Nevertheless, she was despondent. Fancy word. I'm just gonna reduce it again. Okay, fancy word here, despondent. And then let me show you the fancy words: top-notch, appetizing, despondent, and contradicted. Connectors are pretty good. They're also considered fancy. A whole whack of pepper and chili powder. Again, it's fancy. Precisely is good. It's an adverb. It's not fancy, but an adverb. The more lease you put, the more range of vocabulary you would have. So that's nice to see. And overlooked, fancy. Famished, fancy. Exceptional, fancy. Competent, fancy. These are all fancy words, so great use of vocab. I don't think she has any grammar mistakes, pretty good grammar. And you can see here, it's all about complaining. I was despondent. The spaghetti had this problem, and the spicy food was served with a whole whack of pepper and chili powder. Everything related to the question, completely answering the question 100%. Complain about the service, and it's pretty much the same thing like state the problems. So her complaint is, my reservation was not precisely booked. Customer service assistant she overlooked the details, and she was disgusted to wait 1.5 whatever hours. So she's complaining. Once again, both sentences are about the complaint, nothing else, okay? Describe how you want the problem to be solved, and right away she gets to the point: to therapy the situation, do this and do this. What happened here was she ran out of words. You can see her body went into her huge, and here she is running out of words. That's why she doesn't have two sentences as opposed to other paragraphs. So I think she could have cut something here in body one and put something here. That would have looked nicer. You would have a balance of all paragraphs and words. It wouldn't look rushed. It does a little bit here, but still, has the question been answered properly using perfect grammar and vocabulary? That has been accomplished. So again, very nice writing, almost perfect, but as I mentioned, some points could have been improved, and that's why it's not going to get a 12, it's not going to get an 11, but it is definitely, for me, going to get a 10. And usually what I tell our students, this is what you're going to get, they end up getting exactly that. So I'm going to score this 10, minimum 9, and this lady is going to qualify because 9 is mostly what people need for immigration and studies. So guys, that's it. Those were our two letters. Once again, you can check them out on our blog if you want to read them in detail. And those are the kinds of students who score a lot of marks and very little marks. And by the way, 9 and 10, I was talking about CELPIP. If she's doing IELTS, it is easily an 8 or 8. Well, I would say 8. 8 bands for this is a pretty good score. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll talk to you very soon.